many Americans across the country won't swipe their credit cards today, and that's because a nationwide protest is calling for a so-called economic blackout. Organizers of the 24-hour boycott are basically telling people to not buy anything online or in store, and the goal here is to take a stand against rising prices and showcase the power of everyday people. So on that note, let's bring in CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, thanks for joining us today on a Friday. This is only for 24 hours. We don't know exactly how many Americans are actually going to take part in this, but what happens if Americans stop spending for a day?
So, look, if they stop spending for a day, it's not going to be that dramatic of an impact when you look at a Walmart or an Amazon, because, of course, it's not going to be everyone that stops spending, even though this movement does have a lot of traction on social media. But I think where this could evolve is you also have this group calling for targeted boycotts of Walmart for a week in the future, Amazon for a week in the future. This 24-hour economic blackout is supposed to be just the start. And if it does gain enough traction, the idea is to roll out even further down the road. It is going to be hard to quantify, as you suggest. 24 hours, it's not like Walmart, Amazon, and some of these major retailers that are specifically targeted in this boycott. They're not going to release their sales numbers for the day. But I think back to the Bud Light boycott, for example, where for months consumers said, no, I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to go buy an alternative. So we have seen this type of sentiment and boycott work in the past. And we did reach out to Walmart, Amazon, and the other retailers that have been targeted in this boycott. They're not commenting on the planned boycott. But what I will say, Mugo, is it does seem to have tapped into this customer frustration that is very timely with higher prices, not feeling like your income is surpassing inflation. And I do think that's why you have seen it take off on social media. Whether that actually translates into the store is something that we're going to have to monitor.
All right, we'll wait and see. But speaking of those high prices, there is a new data point on inflation today. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, so it's called PCE. It is basically the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. Good news. It actually dropped versus December when you look at what we call core PCE. That measures the price increase when you strip out food and energy. The bad news is that the increases are coming from your everyday items like utilities, housing, food, gas. We actually saw spending from consumers drop 0.2%. We expected it to increase 0.3%. So it goes back to that point. People are feeling a bit anxious about where the economy is right now. They're pulling back their spending.
Okay, Kelly, I know that you are a fan of the TV series White Lotus, and season 3, for those who are also fans out there, is out here, and it's already sparking this buzz about something called the White Lotus effect. What is that?
Well, the White Lotus effect for me when I watch it is I'm cringing and I get so much anxiety. But yes, you're right. You've outed me as a massive fan. But the White Lotus effect in terms of the economic impact of it is people are getting excited about traveling to places that are featured in White Lotus. So season 1 was the 4 Seasons Maui. Season 2 was the 4 seasons in Taormina in Italy. And then Thailand is featured in the most recent season. I have a couple of numbers for you to back this up. So the 4 Seasons has said that they've seen an increase in website traffic. So Thailand, 596% versus the past year. And then you can see the numbers for Italy and Maui there. So it just shows people see this on TV and they're excited and they want to go look up, is this someplace that I could travel? I want to have the White Lotus experience, and it's really the 4 Seasons experience. But I can tell you, I'm someone that is saving up for a trip to Italy. I probably am included in that website traffic. I probably won't be able to stay at the 4 Seasons, but maybe an Airbnb in Italy. But I do hear that you are not necessarily a fan yet, so we've got to get you watching, and then we'll just take a girls' trip to Italy. We'll check it out.
You know what? You got me on the girls' trip part, so maybe, just maybe, I'll actually take it seriously and watch and catch up to the 3rd season. Thank you so much, Kelly O'Grady, for your time today. Appreciate it.